Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It is now 4 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. The first thing we'll do, let's do a quick roll call. Richard McKenrick.
He was going to try to call in and participate by phone. He's out of town today.
Okay. John Black is here. Connor Parker. Miss Eva.
Here.
Okay. Matt Morrison. Candace Patman. Chris Kiefer's here. Shirley Robinson. Kamal Shalon. I see Mr. Williams is on with us.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Lee Mashburn. All right, so we do not have a quorum. I will move right along to, do we know if there was any public comment submitted? Is Mike on?
Hey, sir. No, none that I have received.
Okay, thanks, Mike. I will move right along to Office of Small Business Opportunities.
Good afternoon. All right. So, as we all know, October 3rd, County Council voted for the Osbo office to be its own department. We're still celebrating that.
No, none that I have received.
Oh, okay. I see. Sorry. Okay, so we are currently working on expanding our SLBE certification list by 50. Since the month of October, we've added 18 new SLBEs to our database with a different assortment of businesses that fall under the certifying categories that we have. As it stands right now, we're sitting at 139. We have 5 pending applications for processing, and we are actively working with additional small businesses that are seeking certification with the office. Another piece to add in there is the processes that we've created to get the small businesses in the community involved with the county. And that's what our main focus is, as well as building up our calendar for 2024. And that's all we have for this moment. Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Breland?
Yeah, John, I had a question for Ms. Breland. Do y'all still put the directory out online in like a Excel spreadsheet downloadable format?
Yes, it is public on our website.
Okay. And I just wanted to let everybody know, like, if you are looking for certain suppliers and vendors, this is a good list to go to. I've used it before for other places where I've worked, and it's nice because the contractors and suppliers and vendors on that list have been vetted by the county, so that's always a plus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
That really is. Thank you for that, Miss Breland, and for that question, Chris, because that was really a good question too. I think it's good that people know that that's a resource available to them. The comments, comment on there. There's Miss
Yes,
Jackie.
I'm here.
There's Miss Jackie.
Good afternoon, everyone. So actually, I will be starting my report, which is item A of the Davis and Floyd report. And that first page is actually a summary of all the projects, but I want to start into the details, which would be the second page. So under the completed sites, we have 3 benches that were completed. And that's the Hardscrabble and Bush River, the Bush Road area, Forest and Shandon, Baptist, and another one at Forest and Shandon on the opposite side of the street. So those are completed. And moving down further in the middle of the page for the approved sites, the shelters, we had 2 shelters that were approved, and that's at Decker Boulevard and Quiet Lane. And that actually the owner of the property requested the shelter there. So that's why that one's moving pretty quickly. And then also the other one's at Main and Elmore. Okay, on the next page, sites currently under permit review. There were 2 shelters, one at McIntyre Produce, and the other one, Midlands Tech Super Stop area. So those are currently under permit review. And also there's 1 bench, which is at Broad River and Heritage. So the sites in design, there's 1 shelter at Pendleton and Barnwell. Even though we were waiting on the City of Columbia to provide the neighborhood involvement, Davis and Floyd was able to communicate with USC. USC said they do have interest in placing that bench there because it's on the campus area. So they're going to move forward on that one. So the benches for the sites in design, there were 10 benches, as you can see on the list. And also 2, John, I don't know if it was you or it was someone else on one of the previous meetings about the Hardin Street and the Rosewood area. We were waiting on neighborhood involvement. So according to Davis and Floyd, they are having a lot of problems trying to get in contact with someone with the HOA. I don't remember if it was you or Mr. Epton that said that if we need assistance in getting contact information for that area, then you can provide that for us. So if you all could provide a contact name, email, or whatever, so we could reach out to find out the status, if they still want that bench or not. That's at the corner of Rosewood and Hardin.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think I have that information. I'll touch base with you tomorrow
Okay,
and try to get that information to you.
okay, and then we can just contact them right away. Okay, so that ends the bus stop and shelter amenities. Next, we can go to the ridership. Item B, we will start with all aboard. The total ridership for November was 133,717. And November of last year, it was 122,649, which is a 9% increase compared to last year. And the next page that has previous month comparisons. So 133,717 for November compared to last month. The previous month was October. It was 132,922. And that also was an increase of 0.5% from month to month. The next page shows the average daily ridership for each month, January through November, excuse me, for 2022 and 2023. And it also shows the average daily ridership for those same month, for the same years. Next page, Gamecock ridership for those 10 routes that we performed for USC. The ridership was 38,310 total passengers for November. And there was a decrease of 5,551 compared to October. So that was due to the Thanksgiving holiday break when the schools were not in session. So the next two pages are our financials and DBE participation. And actually, that ends my report. So if there are any questions for me, I can entertain those now.
So Ms. Bowers, this is Frank Anderson. So communities that would like to request a shelter or bench, who do they call?
If they're requesting a shelter or a bench, you said?
Yes, if they
Actually,
would
they,
like to request a
Right.
shelter or bench.
right, actually, they could contact me and I could pass it on to, I could take care of that.
Okay, and what's your number, ma'am?
My number is 803
Okay.
255 7132.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Miss Bowers? All right, thank you, Jackie.
All right, thank
Always
you
good
too.
seeing you.
Okay.
We'll see you next month.
Yes, and happy holidays.
You too. Now we'll move on to the transportation program with the Honorable Michael Maloney.
Thank you, sir. We've got our financial sheet up front. And just for everyone's knowledge, the green stripes on the financial sheet, which is, what am I looking for? Page number 4, I guess. The green projects are what have been completed. So 3 widenings, and then 1 is in construction, which is Blythewood widening. All reports from the field are it's ahead of schedule. They're working on, I guess they've put in 1 shared use path and are working on the other side. So they're kind of moving inwards from there. Their completion date is not this April, but April 25. So it appears that they'll, being that they're through utility coordination and relocation, they're doing quite well on the project. The other project, just wanted to mention that it's not in construction yet, but Atlas Road widening, we're just waiting this week for ATP from DOT. We've gotten through all the issues and have responses in on any comments they had. So they're going to try to get that out this week so we can get it into bid and have that out for February and March award. So that'll be an important large project. That's, as you can see from the budget for the project of $36,300,000, that it's anticipated to be a larger project. On intersections, we have everything in construction except Clemson and Sparkleberry. So the ones that aren't completed, Bolin Elmwood's under construction. Hardscrabble and Kelly Mill is actually going to be a donation to the DOT. That's part of the managed project they're doing at Hardscrabble. And then Garner's Ferry and Harmon. We recently moved Screaming Eagle and Percival to completed, but Garner's Ferry and Harmon has just some cleanup. The staging yard needs to be cleared and just kind of reseeding and work their way out of that. But the signals and the turning lanes and et cetera are all, and pavement markings are all there. So it's functionally operating, substantially complete, and has punch list items. So that's Garner's Ferry and Harmon. Then going back to Bolin Elmwood under construction, it has had an early, bid time completion date of October. That's going to be March. They had so many utilities in the way, and the last one was just cleared at the end of last week, which was one of the overhead communication cables. That was why they're working on they've worked on curb and gutter and pulling the intersection back to widen it on all but the corner where the church is. That would be the northwest corner at Bull and Elmwood. So they're ready to start that, and they've actually been working on sidewalk on that church side, but they couldn't get to the intersection before. They'll be able to start that, and you'll see that they've put up the signal heads on the new mast arms, and the old signals will continue to operate. I think the city has some sort of camera system on that that'll come down. And they'll be, going through a switch over of that at the appropriate time with some of the geometry changes they're doing out there. So that's the information on Bull and Elmwood. Clemson and Sparkleberry, again, in design, that is at 60% review at DOT. On the special projects, funding has been made available for Innovista 3, so that when the city has expenses that can be reimbursed. Part of the William Street extension. Shop Road Extension Phase 2 is in concept design and a review of the real estate issues. Kelly Mill Road is in design as a 3-lane with sidewalks on both sides, tying into that Kelly Mill Hardscrabble intersection and heading about a little over a mile to the kind of southeast. And then not started as commercial drive improvements. On the neighborhood improvement projects, we're about to get a NTP or ATP to start work on right away for Broad River Road corridor improvements. And then we're kind of putting a push on a couple others. We've got an ATP in for kind of the Decker area and NIP, and that Decker Woodfield, that one we got an ATP on Brookfield sidewalk, and we're waiting one more sidewalk to kind of put together a package for that project, those projects. Chadsworth Connector is a 10-foot wide concrete path. We're proposing that the Public Works would maintain that in an easement rather than because our rec commission was concerned about the maintenance costs, and so rather than kind of debate those, we just take maintenance of it. Dirt road paving, we awarded package O. Let's see, that's probably back here in the back. Yeah. Package O on Howard Kugler, Sarah Matthews. It says District 1, that's District 7 actually, probably due to redistricting over the years. Sarah Matthews is a fairly lengthy L-shaped road along a hillside, so be a good road to get paved. Nathan Ridge and Jackson Road form a big loop in Lower Richland and District 10, and those are getting paved. So those are the 4 roads in this package that was previously awarded by council. Sidewalk projects, so kind of going into sidewalks and greenways. On sidewalk projects, we had Sunset Drive recommended for award by the ad hoc committee, transportation ad hoc, last Tuesday or last Thursday, and that'll be going to council in February when council convenes for action, and that award would be to Cherokee Construction. That completes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Maloney?
Yes, sir, Mike. This is Rich McHenrick from the town of Blythewood. I serve on council for Blythewood. Can you give us an update on where we are with Blythewood Road and Creech, that project?
Yes, so Creech and McNulty, where they come together, but particularly Creech coming to Blythewood Road, and then it ties over to Highway 21.
Yes, sir.
So that road is in review by the county. So permitting, the design has been brought along substantially for that, and then we're going to be going into land acquisition on that. We did bring our consultant that does land acquisition into that and provide them plans, so they'll be starting that ASAP. We did meet with the DOT traffic engineers that have reviewed our encroachment permit. So Creech will be a county maintained road. And when we do that, and we end a road that's coming into South Carolina DOT road, like Blythewood Road, we have to get an encroachment permit, which means it's a review for how we interface with their road. And they're recommending we add signals at that intersection. Signals that will have to be timed and in communication with the signal for the I-77 northbound off-ramp. So typically from that off-ramp, you'd be heading north on 77, you'd get off. If you're turning right, block away would be this new signal. And the concern there would be in any, excessive traffic queuing that would occur in the off-ramp. So that would be very helpful to the two hotels and other things on the current stub road of Creech. That's very close to between I-77 and very close to Blythewood Road, and provide a service for left turns out, which if we don't put in a signal would become a traffic limitation that you couldn't have a left turn out of there. So we're looking at that with them, and we'll put together a design for that to include with Creech.
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Just it's another question. That same traffic light right across the street is the newer end of McNulty that comes out by the McDonald's and what used to be Carolina Wings. Is that traffic light that you're talking about also going to control traffic coming out of there as well?
When we look at that particular location, I think the early talks are that there would be straight and right out of that area and no left due to conflicts in the intersection.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be controlled, at least for the through traffic.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as right turns, it would be right turn, some type of right turn on red would be allowed potentially. And did you say it used to be Carolina Wings?
Yes, it's
they changed names.
Oh.
Still a wing place, but not Carolina Wings anymore.
It's still there. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for the update.
You bet.
Ms. McNulty, this is Frank Anderson. Any updates on the Broad River Judge Fork road widening?
Nothing new really. We're in land acquisition. So they're going through that. There's, roughly 150 parcels that will be a part of that. And we're going through that now. So I will say that they're continuing to final design. So they'll have that, that authorization ready to go when they get all the land secured. So that's going to happen before they get through land acquisition, would be my anticipation. We took a more proactive approach working with Columbia Water, so that, they normally would go out and request easements for their water main and sewers. And as new development comes in along that corridor, and at least 3 or 4 have, we're asking, through the review process to have those easements installed, but also Our consultant is is going to be negotiating and approaching the residents for the easements. When they go in now to do it, we don't really have all the easements, easement details other than a general width. So we're just letting them know about it while we're negotiating right away, and we'll come back to them for that. So that's all part of the land acquisition process that that our consultants are leading on.
Okay, should we expect any groundbreaking in 2024?
No, it would be in spring, summer of 25.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi,
Go ahead.
Director Maloney, Eva Prelo, how are you?
Good.
Happy holidays.
You too.
The Lower Richland and Harmon Road, yeah, I get to experience that improvement there. So everything's looking good, really enjoying the turn signal that's coming off of the Hart Hill Road where you can now turn left. So that really has improved the flow of traffic, positive impact. The Lower Richland CAT Community Action Team, CAT team, is requesting your presence to a meeting. So
Yes.
I'd like to follow up with you to see if you're available on the second Monday in January to attend a meeting there. But I'll follow up with a phone call.
That's January 8th.
Yes, at 6 o'clock. I also left a message on the 2401 Public Works line for you. So
Okay.
I'll follow up to see if you're available, and if not, to propose either staff or another day, next the February, or another time that you could attend.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? Any other questions for Mr. Maloney?
Yes, I have one more for you, Mike. The Hardscrabble Road, and I know DOT's managing that, and that you guys periodically have progress meetings with them. What's happening, or how's progress moving along with that?
In our last question on that, they indicated it would be complete, or they're anticipating a completion in August of 24. So this coming late summer. Well, that was the last we heard as far as that goes. As I look at it, there's a lot of asphalt to put down. And that does go down rather quickly once you're set. But I see it in different phases out there, as far as it looks like 1 or 2 lifts needed in different areas, but they have all their big drainage structures in. So I guess as soon as they can, they would be hitting pavement pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen a lot more progress in the last couple months than there had been, and I think that's why people were complaining. But it seems to be getting better, and I know they had a couple intersections closed down to move a few things around in the last couple of weeks or last month or so. So yeah, seeing progress, and everybody will be happy in August when it's done, hopefully.
Yeah, and asphalt paving, we've been doing it very recently. And all we need is 45 degrees and rising to start paving. So that's still possible. Concrete work we've been doing with cold weather protection on it. So a lot of our projects are still moving as we get into further into December.
Any other questions for Mike? Or Director Maloney, my bad. All right, we will move along to old business. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be January 15th. It will be in person at the Public Works conference room. Is that behind you, Mike?
No, this is just my office where I do have 6 or 7, but what I'd be missing is a good connection. So we have room for a good dozen in our Public Works conference room at 400.
Okay.
400 Powell Road, Building 1.
And I'm assuming we'll still be live streaming and have that capability in there.
Yes.
So please, if you're available on January 15th to meet in person, again, that's 400 Powell Street in Building 1. And that'll be January 15th. And of course, we'll still be having it on Zoom and live stream on YouTube on the Richland County page. Does anybody have anything else? Well, if not, this is probably one of our fastest meetings. The time is now 4:30 and we are adjourned. See y'all next week and hope y'all have a good holidays.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Same to you. Have a good one.
Bye.